Okay, so he needs somebody to give him specifics on what they did wrong. He needs specifics. And only then will he apologize. I got you, Prince Harry. I got your back. Or here's just a couple off the top of my head, all right? Your wife's a bully.
Hey, everyone. So Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, right? They've been making headlines ever since they left the royal family. The Oprah interview, their new projects, it's all been a big deal. And you know, they have a huge platform. Millions of people listen to them. That means they have a responsibility to be honest and upfront. But lately, things haven't been so clear. Some of their explanations just haven't added up, and people are starting to lose trust. It's time for Harry and Meghan to face the music, own up to their mistakes, and apologize. It's not about admitting weakness. It's about fixing things and getting back on track.
Her former press communications person who worked for both you and your brother, Jason Knopf, is on the record about the bullying she committed against people who were younger than she was, who were less powerful than she was within the palace, who she made cry all the time. One of the other people that she apparently made cry was Princess Kate. She told Oprah that Kate made her cry, but now we know from your own book, Harry, that it was Meghan calling Kate a baby brain. It's your baby brain, after she gave birth to her third child, to explain Kate's complaints about Meghan's wedding plans. All right? That's not polite. That is rude, as Prince William later told you in referring to your wife. That has a tendency to make people not like you when you have the nerve to comment on their hormones after they just had a baby when you barely know them. Number two, she's a brat. We know from Dan Wootton's reporting, which is, you can take it to the bank. Dan's reporting, he's got very solid sources. He broke Megxit, and he was right, that she was upset about her tiara. She wanted the one, and she couldn't get it because it had some stone that was controversial, etc. And Harry said what Meghan wants, Meghan gets, and the Queen had to reprimand him. That's the kind of story that makes people dislike you, within the royal family and without. Your wife abandoned her entire family. That's another thing, in favor of celebrities at her wedding. She cut ties with virtually everybody whose shoulders she had stood on her way up the fame scale, just as soon as she met you. Well, that seems a little rude too. Kind of disloyal, also annoying. And then what was George Clooney doing at your wedding? You didn't know him. She didn't know him. That's who she had there instead of the sweet cousin or stepsister, whatever it was, who she had supposedly grown so close to. You said that in your Netflix documentary. She forgot that girl. She ghosted her because apparently she didn't make the grade. Never mind her step-siblings and so on, half-siblings. Your fights with the press. You two look like a couple of whiny babies, and it's been going on for years. How many lawsuits have you filed against the Mail and so on? Forget the lawsuits, though. It's your whiny statements about the nasty press. Every single celebrity deals with it. You don't think George Clooney's had negative things written about him? Tom Cruise had negative things written about him? He doesn't use his speeches or his media appearances to whine about the mean media. They say the things that aren't true. We're sick of it. Shut up about your negative press coverage. Does somebody like Beyonce, who you love so much, look for a negative, obscure comment online as representative of her experience with the press? And then act like a victim because of it? No, she doesn't. Because she understands she's had a similar experience to the one that you and your wife had for the vast majority of your time in the public eye. Absolutely fawning media coverage. You're the ones who made it turn. You. Not Prince William, not King Charles, not Camilla. You. They've given you fawning coverage. It is the opposite of what you are claiming, and it makes people dislike you, these constant complaints. Okay, here's another one. You're a leaker too. You're upset that the royal family leaks on you. You leak just as much as they do. You use Omid Scobie, your little stenographer at Harper's Bazaar. You use People magazine. But we all see what you're doing while you claim you have clean hands, and you absolutely do not. Here's another one. You abandoned the royal family in their greatest time of need. Both of you. You planned Megxit and executed on it. For one thing, when Prince Philip was dying in the hospital, you sat down with Oprah and called the royal family a bunch of racists. By the way, they now deny that. We'll get to it. You didn't care. And you didn't even have the decency to rule him out, or the Queen, when you knew he was in the hospital. And very elderly man, your own grandfather. No. Still wanted your moment in the sun with the Queen of Montecito. Well, when the actual Queen, Queen Elizabeth, your grandma, was in the hospital, you two were sunning yourselves out in California. Everybody on the royal family went out there and upped their royal duties so that she could be rest assured the family still had her back and was representing the royal family, not you two. You were in the midst of your wine-a-thon out there on the West Coast. You were happy to call her family racist when she was in her last year on Earth. You made the Queen's stress level go up, not down, when she was at her most aged and infirm. You two both constantly play the victim. That's our number one complaint about you, despite the enormous privileges life has handed you. This is why we can't stand you. And it probably irritated your brother and your father and your mother-in-law too, right? You go out on Oprah, you and your wife, and want us to care about what title your kid is going to get or how big your castle is, like you complain about in Netflix, what color designer dresses you were forced to wear in your wife's case, without stopping for 2 seconds to acknowledge the struggles of real people. No one cares about your kids' damn titles or your tiny castle or your beige dress. No one feels sorry for you, but you continue asking us to do so. And we're sick of it, right? Your wife even wanted us to accept her as a Me Too victim, saying she'd been objectified. She was objectified because people looked at her on the set of Deal or No Deal and didn't want her opinion on inflation. She was objectified. No good deed goes unpunished. They give her the role of a lifetime. She was a total unknown, put her on national television, gave her beautiful dresses to wear, did her hair and makeup, and all she can remember is, they told me to suck in my stomach and didn't pronounce my name correctly. I was objectified. What the hell do you think a model does? That's what you were on that show. You were a model. People pay to look at you. That's objectification. Deal with it. Or don't. But don't take the money, climb the ladder of success, and then show absolutely no gratitude and complain that you were objectified. That's why you got a paycheck. You and she both lie. A lot, especially your wife. Oh, I was told by the guy in The Lion King that people hadn't celebrated like this.
Okay, so let's talk about the Archwell Foundation, their charity. Apparently, they forgot to pay a $200 registration fee in California. $200. And their excuse? A lost check. Come on. In today's world, with online payments and everything, a lost check? It just doesn't seem believable. It makes you wonder about how they're handling the money. People who donate to charities need to know their money is being used wisely. This whole lost check thing, even though it's small, makes people question Archwell. Harry and Meghan need to give a better explanation and show everyone they're being responsible with the money. Another thing, Harry's been showing up at public events even though he says he hates the spotlight. He was at the Deal Book Summit while Meghan was at a different event. This got everyone talking about their relationship again.
When I married Harry, like they did since Mandela was freed. Lie, as the Lion King cast has come out and said. You claimed your baby was in grave danger when there was a fire in the nursery when you did the overseas trip. He was nowhere near the fire. It was smoke out of an errant heater, and he was nowhere near it. He was not in danger, but you did that to make yourself look more aggrieved than in fact you were. That's a pattern with you. You suggested the royals are racist, as I mentioned, without a scintilla of truth. Now you reverse that, and you blame the press for that too. Right? By the way, these two, as they now claim that they never called the royals racists, that's what Harry's claiming, that neither he nor his wife ever called the royals racists, despite what we heard in the Oprah interview. They accepted an award like 2 weeks ago in New York City for standing up to, and I quote, the structural racism within the royal family. That was Carrie Kennedy, whose family was presenting them with the award. Did they stand up and say, this is an outrage? Our family's not racist. We never said such a thing. No, they took the award and loved every second of it. So spare me now that the blowback has been bad, that you didn't call them racist because you did. We saw it. It's on tape. You constantly lecture the so-called little people on how they need to be better people, more like you, we guess, while showing zero appreciation for their problems, right? Harry had the nerve to lecture us on white supremacy and white privilege. Then their Netflix documentary calls all Brexiters racist if you were in favor of Brexit, which the majority of Great Britain residents were. You're racist. She's out there telling us don't call women difficult. By the way, we now know that's what Prince William called her. So like I said before, that whole Spotify series she did was her working out her own issues. She doesn't want you to be able to say women are difficult because that's what Prince William said about her. Don't say diva, don't say bitch. I'm sure they called her that too. You're hypocrites. You lecture us on the environment and how we need to go green and do better as citizens while you're on your private jets and your SUVs with your enormous mansion out in Montecito saying reportedly it's not big enough or good enough for you. Right? These are the reasons why we can't stand you. I'm giving you the specifics you so desperately want. You lecture us on kindness and how to be nice and be kind while you bully the little people around you. Half your staff walks out every other week because they can't stand working for you. What does it take to make somebody walk out on working for a royal? Probably a lot, right? Is it over? Is Harry finally done with his incessant whining and the demonization of his family? I don't think so. I don't think it's done by a long shot. He's out there giving these interviews. I'm really hoping this is it, so we don't have to keep talking about this guy. They don't seem to ever get bored of the spotlight. Is your business still using spreadsheets and emails to manage important sales commission? Mm-mm. Is your support and operations staff stretched thin? Not good. Are your salespeople constantly trying to piece together the puzzle for what they're getting paid for and what is potentially missing from their comp? Well, this is where Clear Comp comes in. Clear Comp is a one-stop shop for your business to manage sales commission documentation like commission plan info, product info, and facts. It's basically a sales operations and sales enablement dream platform. ClearComp works seamlessly and securely with your existing software applications for your billing, CRM, HR, you get the picture. Your sales team will perform their best with real-time results and earnings using ClearComp's interactive dashboards. And your operations team will be able to make commission plan adjustments with just a few clicks, super easy. So please, get this done already, right? It's time. Modernize your sales organization. Improve your business today by visiting clearcomp.com. That's CLEARCOMP.com. Book a demo and tell them I sent you.
Harry said the rumors aren't true, but him being at a big event like that seems kind of hypocritical, right? He complains about the media, but then he goes to these events. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If they want a private life, they gotta act like it. People can see right through it when you say one thing and do another. Harry and Meghan need to figure out what they really want and stick to it. All these rumors and mixed messages are making it hard for people to trust Harry and Meghan. Their personal life is their business, but it affects the charities they work with and the causes they support. When people hear about relationship problems, they start to wonder if Harry and Meghan are really committed to their work, or if they're just using it for attention. They need to address these questions head-on. An apology for the mistakes would be a good start. They need to show they're willing to change and start matching their actions with their words. Rebuilding trust takes time, but it's possible. It takes honesty and a real effort to make things right. Harry and Meghan have a lot of work to do, but it's important for their reputation and everything they want to do in the future.